1, floral crown, complete. Next, we're going to do the silky hairpiece. And with the silky hairpiece, you're going to need a ribbon. This is what we're going to attach the hairpiece to. I use cotton jersey knit because I have a ton of the stuff lying around because of my clothing shop. Back in the day, we used to use a lace ribbon, which you can actually get on a spool because it's very sturdy. And let's see, we're going to be also using the glue gun. And I got 3 bags of this stuff. It is called Kinecolon Jumbo Braid, and you can get it in Sally Beauty Supply or you can find it online. Now, you can also buy silky hair, but it's going to be a hell of a lot more expensive. It's just easier to get this. I chosen an accent color because if I did solid black, you probably wouldn't really see it very well against the hairpiece, or the headpiece rather. And I also wanted to show you how to blend, and when you're adding an accent color, how to blend that in with your base. So I'm not sure if I have enough of the blue. This is all I had left of the cobalt. Every other color I have is a little bit shall we say rainbow bright. I have like a highlighter yellow, a baby pink, a baby blue, and I'm not sure if that's really in line with the kind of piece that I wanted to create for you guys. So hopefully I won't have to throw a little bit of that in just to bulk it up and make it not look so sparse. Okay, so to blend, what you're going to be doing is separating it in half and then placing one end on top of the other over and over and over again, and eventually you'll end up with thin streaks as opposed to chunky streaks. This is not an elegant process. In its raw form, Kinecolon is an insubordinate material, so you're going to have to engage those feet because the bottom will resist and knot up. So as you can see, I have the second bag of black over my shoulder and I'm slowly working in each piece by piece. You don't want to do it all at once or else you're going to end up with a big matted mess. Next, we're going to blast it with the heat from the blow dryer, and what's going to happen is it's going to change the texture and it's also going to decrease the volume a bit. So you're going to be aiming downward and running your fingers through. Why are my fingers getting... Why is this matting up and shriveled? It's like burnt what the fuck? Oh, hell no. Just returned from about 2 degrees from a meltdown. This is absolute shit. Do not buy it if you're going to be doing a project that requires silky hair. It will not turn silky. This is synthetic. So when I went into Sally Beauty Supply, I went in there with one intention, that is to buy Kinecolon Jumbo Braid in the color 1, which is jet black. All I had was 1B. That's not going to work. That's off black. But they did have this shit. And the sales associate assured me, as a cosmetology student, as a person who also does hair extensions and have used this before, that given what I intended to do to it, aka blast it with heat and turn it into silky hair, this will react exactly like the Kinecolon fiber. Bullshit! My whole apartment smells like burnt plastic because this is synthetic fiber. What happens when you try to heat synthetic? It shrivels up and it turns into these little hard bits of plastic. And you don't want that in your hair. Ugh. So I have resorted to a plan B, and my plan B is to revert to the 90s. In the 90s, we used to make hair pieces out of the same exact stuff, not that shit, but the Kinecolon fiber, but this is before we knew that hitting it with the heat from our blow dryer could change the texture entirely and turn it silky. So when we made hair pieces from it, there were these big, full, crimped looking pieces, but you could really only get maybe 1 or 2 good wears out of it unless you really took care of it because it would knot up very quickly. So that's what I've done. I've gone back to my roots, and it actually does kind of work better with the headpiece in general. Tie the ribbon around the back of a chair and then fold the hair in half over it and braid it for about 1 inch. Next, you want to hit that braid with the glue gun all the way around to seal it. As you can see, I will be touching the glue with my fingers. I wouldn't recommend this because I have an incredibly high tolerance to heat, but if you do touch it with your fingers, make sure that your fingers are wet so that you can mold it in place. And number 2, if your fingers are dry, it'll stick to your fingers and it will hurt. So same thing with your second bit of hair right next to the other. You're going to braid it for a 1/2 inch. You're going to seal it with the glue, only this time you're going to glue it to the piece of hair next to it. And this is how we're going to proceed the whole way through until you run completely out of the hair.
So the thing about these hair pieces is that there's always some collateral damage. If you look at your floor, it literally looks like a person has exploded on it, just their head. So what you're going to do is salvage up some of that hair, and you're going to braid a piece from base all the way to tip. And what we're going to do with that braid is we're going to wrap it around the entire base as many times as we can to cover the glue. Add some glue on top of the already existing glue at the base of the hairpiece on one side, and then you're going to press the braid on top of it. And then once that dries, we'll be able to do it to the other side. So once that side is dry, flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. We're basically going to keep wrapping it around until we have about 2 inches of braid left. So I chose to end it on the side, and then you're going to glue it in place. Make sure it really doesn't move. And then you're going to cut the end off. And then glue it again just to make sure. And that's it.